What's good, y'all? Fresh off the clock. It's 10:52 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Just did me a good 10 hours. Man, I gotta get this grind in though on the tube though, bro, because man, I done messed the van up. And I done already messed the van up a couple months ago. You know what I'm saying? Stuff. So ain't no telling what it's looking like tomorrow morning whenever I walk in, you know what I already don't think I got a route. But you know that varies, you know. But yeah, man, I messed up. So gotta get this grind in, man. So don't skip the ads, you know what I'm saying? We on the road to 100K, okay? If you don't hit that like button, subscribe button, and turn on all notifications, slap the dog shit about yourself. Cause that's the first thing you should have did when you clicked on this video. We got immigrants try to turn Tariq Nasheed's world upside down. I actually don't even know who that is. I think he played football. Let's see what it's hitting for. Shouts out to O'Shea Duke Jackson.
Recently, I've been talking about the ICE raids and the beef between the blacks and the Hispanic community in America. And of course, that division has been getting worse. And while that situation has been festering in America, another YouTuber made a video talking about something similar, but also different. His name is Cam James, and he created a pretty long video called The Cold War, Tariq Nasheed's 6 stages of cultural grift. Now, Cam James is a YouTuber I've seen come up in around the last 1 to 2 years on the platform. He's very similar to FD Signifier. He's not a guy who posts a lot, but when he does, it's a very long video with a lot of very detailed information. He's a very fastidious guy, and so he gathers a lot of information over time.
He looks familiar in a lot of different ways to me. And it just reminded me of something I didn't want to be reminded of right now. Of someone. Hey, listen. I already took you outside. You got food, you got water. I'm not playing right now. I gotta work right now, okay, baby? Okay? I can't do this right now. No. 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 You gonna go home. Stop. If you can't sit there, you gonna go home. Stop. No. Go home. Go. 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 Because you're not going to be barking. Stop. You a scoop of food. Leave me alone, though. Leave me alone. I gotta work, okay? This is ridiculous, bro. That's why I ain't want my dog here. Just moved into the new crib. She gonna do this, bro. Get used to it, y'all. The goal is to get a crib, bro. 3-bedroom house. Once again. Probably not gonna buy though. Gotta rent.
He'll create a masterpiece sort of video. A lot of the stuff he's going to put out is going to be even with some incriminating information on the subject itself. So he'll find contradictions on somebody like Dr. Umar, and he'll make sure he gets all his ducks in a row before he shoots his actual shots. But in this video, he's trying to prove that Tariq Nasheed is using FBA as a cultural grift,
ain't no football,
and that
nigga.
pretty much he's being divisive. Now, he is a very good YouTuber. He's an excellent YouTuber, in my honest opinion. And if you want to check out the video, you can, it's linked below. But I want to deal with 3 of the parts of the video in which I feel are the most important for this discussion. The first thing is that he's attacking Tariq Nasheed's ability to define what a true FBA is.
This rule blatantly and intentionally ignores that people cross between these plantations all the time.
I never even heard of FBA until I started reacting to these videos and y'all start commenting in the comment section, bro. I looked this shit up and I damn near forgot what it meant. It means something something black American, something like that.
Enslaved people ignores.
EA is.
This rule blatantly and intentionally ignores that people cross between these plantations all the time. Enslaved people were sold off to the Caribbean after working in America because Haiti had high demand, and they were sent there as punishment too, since conditions were reportedly more brutal on those plantations. This is the best part. Lincoln even tried to send these freedmen Tariq wants to focus on to Haiti.
So as you know, hashtag FBA is a foundational Black American. It's very similar to the idea about hashtag ADOS. So this is a person that's an American descendant of slave.
I guarantee you, bro, 9 out of 10 people in real life don't know what the fuck a FBA is, bro. Black people. I've never in my life heard of it. Oh, you're not even black. They ain't got shit to do with it. Trust me, this is some online shit. Never in my life heard of FBA.
About hashtag
Foundational
ADOS. So
Black American. What? What are you saying here?
This is a person that's an American descendant of slave. This is an individual that is born in America from West African slave
Right, so that's what it
heritage. But what this brother here is saying is, well, how can you track that? Because you had people going between different plantations. There are people born in America that ended up in Jamaica. There are people born in America that ended up in other parts of the world. So who is a true FBA? And on the flip side, you can have somebody that's born in the Caribbean and has Caribbean heritage, the Haitians in Louisiana, and then they become part of FBA. He is correct. There is no real way to identify, because of the slave movement, who are true ancestors. Could we have FBA ancestors in Brazil? I'm pretty sure, because even Nigerians can trace some of their ancestry to some parts of Brazil. Even Lagos is named after a Portuguese city, right?
Bro, yeah, and a lot of them speak Spanish too, bro. That is true.
Reality is, when you talk about hashtag FBA or somebody who is non-FBA, what do we
like? All them Haitians,
go-
bro, they speak French. That's kind of like, that's French. That's not Spanish. I know they be speaking French, bro.
Off of what a person identifies with. For an example, let's look at Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is from Trinidad, which are the same West African slave ships that brought African Americans over. Okay?
Allegedly.
We can say that Trinidad and Tobago, their DNA would be very similar to what we call hashtag FBA. But remember, Michael B. Jordan tried to name his rum brand J Overt. Okay?
Yeah. Do y'all really believe the ship story in 2025, bro? Can I get a 1 for yes and a 2 for no? I don't know. I don't know. How do you bring that many people over here to create this amount of to grow into this amount of black people today, even though black is not the minority or the majority minority no more, but they brought all, allegedly slaves from Africa, and then that's what black people ended up being in America today. This many of them though. It just doesn't. I just don't see it. How did they survive? Y'all allegedly didn't feed them. It was the worst conditions possible. You talk about this is what year? What year is this? 1850, my nigga. Like, what year is this in time, bro? Y'all don't have no technology. Y'all don't have nothing, bro. Y'all on a ship cruising. Oh, with by wind. My nigga, y'all know how long that took, bro? And I'm sure, bro, if that is the case, they probably did end up everywhere. You know what I'm saying? In Brazil and all that shit. Because if they just going this way, then they're gonna hit whatever. They don't know exactly where they're going. You feel me? I don't know. I just don't necessarily buy the bullshit.
This is a term associated with the Caribbean Carnival celebration. And when he tried to do that, guess who came down on him?
Because then you also got to think about Pangea, bro. They say humans wasn't alive then, but you don't know that shit. You don't know. You don't know who was in America first, bro. The Indians is questionable, bro. Who are the real Indians, bro? You know what I'm saying?
Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj and the rest of the Trinidadians said, oh no, this is not your community. You are committing cultural appropriation against our group. You need to change that. And they forced him.
It's like the rest of like the black people in the world look at American black people like they're not the same. Which they're not, you know, culturally wise, but at the end of the day, everybody's a nigga. Just like the Russians and the Jews and the Europeans and the white Americans and the Canadians, they're all fucking white. Just like the Venezuelans, the Brazilians, the Mexicans, they're all the same. Just like the Asians, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Hong Konganese. That's probably a state in a city in Hong Kong. Anyways, bro, y'all know what I'm saying, man. I know what I'm saying, bro.
Our group. You need to change that. And they forced him to apologize. But here's the issue. Nicki Minaj is doing what?
And then we just go against each other, bro. It's like the black Spanish people who's from Mexico, Brazil, this, that, and the third. They won't side with black Americans and go through, you know, that's they gonna side with the Mexicans, with their culture, wherever they're from. If it's a whole country like Trinidad, you know, I think that's African, right? Yeah, that's African. They don't want to side with black Americans, which is crazy. But this is what he's saying. That's actually crazy. Cause what they say is black folk came from over there. So that's crazy if you ask me. You know, but man, that's the world though, bro. And it's not even just the black race, bro. You know, the white people don't necessarily do that so much, you know, but maybe them Asians, I would say, you know. Like North Korea and South Korea, like they funkin' with each other. Y'all are the same fucking people. Y'all the same shit. Y'all are the same fucking shit. There's no difference between a North Korean and a South Korean. I mean, cultures are different, yes. Regions are different, yes. They might look a little different because they're breeding with each other. Just like Africans look different than black Americans. It's because we're breeding with each other. They're breeding with each other. You know what I'm saying?
You need to change that. And they forced him to apologize. But here's the issue. Nicki Minaj is doing what? Cultural appropriation.
We're here at US Cellular for Us Days, where our customers get exclusive deals just for them.
It almost feels like...
Of who? Hashtag FBA, or African Americans. She's not even a legal citizen of America, but it's because of what she claims. She claims Trinidad and Tobago. And so many of us claim hashtag African American or hashtag the Negro. Even though we may be from the certain places, we may have back and forths, who knows, but it's about what you claim. For an example, I live in California, okay? It's not uncommon for two sisters to live on opposite sides of town. They both come from Louisiana. They moved to Compton. One person moves to Luders Park. Another person moves to Atlantic Drive, okay? She loves her sister and her sister's kids, but the kids start gangbanging. Her sister's kids become Luders Park Bloods, okay? And then her kids become Atlantic Drive Compton Crips. Guess what? It don't really matter that we're the same blood anymore or the same relative. What matters is we're claiming different gangs. And if you diss each one of the hood, it's a death sentence.
He's not lying.
And while he's right, I mean, he's a smart guy. What we got to understand is people identify with what they identify with. For an example, My grandmother was married to a guy that was had French heritage. Okay, he was mulatto, right? My grandmother my grandmother had a child by another man while she was married. Who's having sounds? That was shady. Okay. Anyways,
Man, growing up, man, you learn things. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, granny. Fuck, can't even trust your own granny. These women, man, you can't trust your own granny.
sounds. That was shady. Okay. Anyways, that gave me a different grandfather than the rest of my aunts and uncles. However, my family carried the same last name of the individual that my grandmother was married to. Okay? So we still claim a little bit of the Louisiana French by association. All right? And that is typical of what we talk about. When you're hashtag FBA, there are certain things that do make you FBA outside of lineage. It is being National Baptist, or being Church of God in Christ, or being AME. Get it? There's certain little things that tie you to the culture or to the community. And while he's correct, there's also certain things that make somebody like Nicki Minaj a lot different than a person like me. And no matter what you try to do, that division will always be there. The next thing he talks about is the census.
As if a census conducted in 1870 could ever account for the full extent of the atrocities committed during slavery. As if our ancestors hadn't scattered all over the planet by then. And as if the federal government could ever be trusted to create and operate the entire department it would require to process and verify all these people. How are they going to stop Rachel Dolezal? Ernie's good, but how are they going to stop Kenny Smith? Why would you want the feds to have the power to further classify and exclude huge sections of the black population in the first place?
Now, this was an interesting point because, you should be able to check your heritage through a census. I think that also relates to the first point. Again, he's a smart guy. I won't take anything from the guy. So, I think the point is still very similar to the first argument that I made. The next thing he talks about is the different criteria associated to FBA.
Unless they have a verified track record of loyalty and tangible contributions. Y'all might be asking, but Tariq, why would the year matter if their other parent is full FBA? This is when you get hit with the most unserious, unscientific claim on this whole site. The African and Caribbean immigrants before that time frame had a different collective disposition in relation to FBA. Translation, their vibes were off. He goes on to explain that people like Marcus Garvey, who was Jamaican, and Malcolm X, whose mother was from Grenada.
So what he accuses Tariq Nasheed of is saying, listen, before 1970, we could accept people that were half FBA. For example, Malcolm X, who had a mother from Grenada and a father from the community, okay? Even somebody who was like Marcus Garvey, we could also celebrate him because he had the mind of the people. And so after COINTELPRO in 1970, we saw more division amongst blacks. And so we can't really take people, that are, half African-American and half Jamaican seriously as much because of what happened. Again, I'm in the middle.
I feel it, bro, but why? Listen, bro. Do y'all not see the divide within the race itself, my nigga? Like, y'all can't be serious right now, bro. Y'all are really talking about because they're from Jamaica, they shouldn't have no say in. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Cause he's half Jamaican, he's not a full foundation. Okay, I understand, I get it. But at the same time, that's just a divide within the same race. Within the black race, bro. What the fuck? How many divides do we need, my nigga? This is crazy. How many divides do we need, bro? You're not black enough. This is a full-blown Negro, but because he's half Jamaican, he's not black enough. He's not a foundational black American. I get it, bro. Oh, you're from the slave ship. Yo, people, okay, they was taken from here, from there, and y'all was put here. They came here type shit. They're immigrants type shit. Like a Malcolm X, like is what they're basically saying. That shit's just crazy to me, bro. It's not. I don't think it's that deep, bro. That shit is fucking. That's insane, bro. Look how deep they got us fucked up.
Have Jamaicans seriously
I
as
feel
much
it. I
because
feel
of
it.
what happened.
I
Again,
feel it, bro. I understand it, but that's not something that needs to be taken as serious,
I'm
bro.
in the middle of an argument like this because let's take somebody like Brother George Macon, who's here on YouTube. His mother is Cuban. His dad was African American. His dad recently passed like 2 years ago, but he is, from Philadelphia, grew up in the African American community, and identifies with the community. So I feel like
This is just a
is more
fucking
about
divide within the fucking.
self-identification
Like, come on,
and
man.
who you rock
This
with
is
in the
insane, bro. Y'all really sitting here debating this, bro.
community a little
Who's
bit
black enough? Because that nigga's from half Cuban. What the fuck?
more. So again, I don't really have much
This
to
is
say about
internet
this.
shit,
It could go
man.
either way between the brother and Tariq Nasheed. But here is a straw that broke the camel's back.
I can't categorically say every
I'ma say this and I'ma keep saying it, bro. Dr. Martin Luther King shouts out respect. But that 13th, 14th Amendment, whichever one it was, made black people U.S. citizens and fucked everything up. Should have never joined them. You can't beat them, join them. That's what KD did. Tore his Achilles. Look at him now. Look at him now. Look at OKC. We up. Yeah. It's personal. It's personal. It's personal, KD. Yeah. It's personal.
Here's a straw that broke the camel's back.
I can't categorically say every Nigerian got this talk, but a lot of Nigerians that travel abroad got this talk from their family, where they will sit you down and tell you, you are going there. Oh. Don't go and talk to those black Americans. Oh. You just go and get pregnant. You get into drugs. You start become gay.
Bro, imagine.
They give you that talk.
Are they lying?
That just go to the white community, find a nice place. They just go and be decent. Stay with the white people. They give you that talk. So when you enter America, you already have a perception of African Americans. You've judged them. And of course, they can see that judgment in your behavior towards them.
Right.
And they see how you are almost like yes master to the Yimbos. They see, they're not blind. So when they have that feeling of when they become defensive when you're in their presence, it's because they see that perception you have of them. So I know I got that talk, and a lot of Nigerians got that talk. So we are over there, we are doing well, we are doctors, we are building houses, we are feeling like, yeah, so we come to the land of the living, we are the land of the plenty, and we are doing well. Forgetting that some people sacrificed for you to even go there in the first place. So is that acknowledgement that the African American community are expecting of us, especially those of us living abroad in America?
In this clip, you have Nigerian immigrants who talk about their time in the United States and how their parents told them to stay away from hashtag FBA. And that if they didn't stay away from them, they would end up pregnant and they would have issues. And that a lot of times the blacks saw them and how they catered to white people. And so this is really the heart of the division. And again, he accuses Tariq Nasheed of grifting the culture or making a profit off of it. And I mean, I can leave that to his discretion or anybody else. But the reality is that if this part wasn't true, then there wouldn't be an opportunity to make content about it or build an audience from it.
For those in the market for flavor,
I already know what I'm
try
gonna title
Modelo
this
Spiked
video.
Aguas Frescas. Vibrantly refreshing flavors and
Or anything else. I've seen this literally happen. I live in Uganda, okay? And again, I used to be a lot more
This nigga's from everywhere.
stronger as what you call a Pan-African. And to be
A
fair, like a lot of the
Pan-African,
stuff
bro.
that the
There's too many terminology, man. How do y'all keep up with this shit, bro? What do y'all do with y'all's life? Just fucking do nothing? God damn, man.
NBA say, regardless of what you think about it, you're gonna get your Negro wake up call when you come over to Africa anyway. You come over to the continent, yeah, a lot of the Pan-Africanism jargon and stuff, it's not a whole lot of weight to it. I'm still a Pan-African. I believe in the global ideology of blacks working together, but again, it's more or less of what can you do for me and what do you have, and we expect for you to do everything that you can do, and you don't get a whole lot of support from that. So there's a reason why people could feel slighted on either side, especially the hashtag FBA. The only way that
So it's pretty much like that in Africa too. Y'all think the black Africans is like that too? Hmm.
somebody could even profit off of something like this is because that division does exist. And again, it's us versus them, not usually when it's us against them, but times them against us. And like, let me give you an example. Storytime music. I was in this diaspora group here in Uganda, okay? And there were some African Americans that are still in the group, and then you have some Uganda and Rwandese Americans. When it came to us, as far as what we had to offer the group, they wanted to know what we had to offer. They joined, we started at first. But then when it came to what they offered or what they could bring to the table, you would find that many times they would keep a lot of information to themselves, okay, at our expense. And this is not uncommon on the continent of Africa. Sure, you can have people who could help you out and be great. I mean, I've experienced that here. But on the flip side, you can also have people who want to keep pertinent information from you and just use it for themselves to bring up their own individual group. This is why blacks and Mexicans are having an issue right now during the ICE raids. And this is why African Americans have such an issue with certain Caribbeans or certain African groups. Because the same things that we've accused Hispanics of, blacks have also accused some Africans and some Caribbeans of. Now, we're going to be honest, Caribbeans like Stokely Carmichael and like Louis Farrakhan, and some of them have been right there with us. So we don't typically look at them as we look at the Hispanics or whatever else, right? That doesn't really happen. The Africans, the continental Africans, more so. But the reality is that what blacks look at in the black world, African Americans or hashtag FBA, is that there isn't parity between the groups. Even the ones that come to the United States, it's like we sacrificed, and then when they come here, then, you know, hey, they're doing good and they're doing great. What are they doing for the struggle to help us out? And then when it comes back to come back to their country, or
compared to any other race of people, it's not as many African immigrants compared to all the other immigrants, bro. If you ask me, I mean, maybe they don't like Oklahoma. You know, I know the Asians really don't so much. You know, but even just traveling around wherever I've been, like, I wouldn't say I see a lot of African immigrants, bro. Now there's one here and there, but I wouldn't say there's a lot, bro. So, you know, and the ones that do be coming over here, they be coming over here for like school and sports. You know.
Or Uganda, you're on your own. Like Ugandan can come to Black America and get something going on the HBCU, but a Black American can't do anything
I just feel like
in the continent without being.
There's divides between cultures all around, bro. You know, hell, I'm sure the black countries in Africa probably, you know, some of them don't like each other. You know, that's just the way it is. You know, I don't feel like I feel like the races should be together though. I don't feel like it should be a divide between no race. You know what I'm saying? If anything, it should be divide between other races. You know what I'm saying? Not like I'm promoting that or anything, but if anything, that's the way it should be. You know, races should stick together. You know, um, You know, especially if one is trying to take over the other. I feel like um hell, all races should come together, you know, at that point, you know. But then sometimes they be all working together against one race. You know.
being rich. So
I just feel like this is just a divide within, bro, and this is bogus. We don't need to be wasting time on this.
understand the animosity. And Cam James is a very, very bright guy. But I think the underlying thing is there is a lot of truth to what is going on between hashtag FBA and the Hispanic community, or hashtag FBA, the Pan-African community, hashtag FBA and Caribbeans and continental Africans, not all, but some. And then there's some gripe there, right? And I used to be a more of a hardcore Pan-African until I started learning that for myself. That, man, as much as, you know, I was so big on Pan-Africanism and still is to a certain degree, I can't sit here and say that after living in Africa for 78 years, that Tariq Nasheed and Pharaoh said that, and a lot of these guys, what they're saying about what's going on in Africa and the parity, it's true. It is true to a certain degree. I've experienced it. I experienced that people want to use you and your community for what you can give and keep everything for themselves. I see it here. It's just something that happens. So to say that somebody is being divisive, I can get that, but the reality is that division has been there for a long time. When I was at Howard University, the Caribbean kids kicked it by themselves. The African Nigerian kids kicked it by themselves. I had a chick from Trinidad and Tobago. She had one of the fattest booties I've ever seen in my life. She said, I can't date you dudes. The reason why my parents said I can't date y'all, because you guys are black Americans.
It's different cultures, bro. It's different cultures, and these other cultures don't get down like we get down, bro. And we don't get down like how they get down, bro. It's just the way it is, man. So we can't even really be mad, you know. You know, I don't think we need to be whenever it comes to like some big shit. I feel like the race need to stick together, bro. Especially through all the bullshit, all the hate from all the other races. You know, I think it's just a divide.
She was getting the full ride scholarships in mathematics from an HBCU, and her parents said, "Whatever you do, don't date a black American." Even though she was getting a full ride scholarship,
and she listens.
I heard it myself. I saw it myself. I didn't even know that blacks had division
until I got
to Howard.
So I need to get me a foreign shorty, boy. You can't speak a different language though. You gotta speak English. You got to. I don't do that other language shit. I can't. I get the chirping.
And anybody who went to HBCU in the East Coast, if you went to University of Maryland East Shore, you went to Hampton, you went to Howard University, you saw it. Virginia State, you saw it. Delaware State, you saw it. Anything in the MEAC, you saw it. Morgan State, you saw it. Don't come in and act like you didn't see it. You saw it. It was evident. I don't know about now, but it was evident. Ethiopians are originals on the whole other side of the yard. They didn't really rock with you like that. So if you want to call it a grift, okay, whatever. But that is what it is. So guys, we think it's your boy Ashley Jackson back
Hey man, y'all let me know what y'all think about that, man. We on the road to 100K, okay? If you don't hit that like button, subscribe button, and turn on all notifications, slap the dog shit about yourself, because that's the first thing you should have did when you clicked on this video. I'll get at y'all on the next one, and I'm gone.